There are moments in human connection when words become less important than the quiet signals people send through their behavior. One of the earliest hidden signs that a woman is opening her emotional world to you appears when she begins sharing the deeper chapters of her life. At first, most conversations between two people remain on the surface. They revolve around daily routines, simple opinions, or light topics that require little vulnerability. But when trust begins to form, the tone gradually shifts. She may start talking about the experiences that shaped her personality, the moments that challenged her confidence, or the lessons that taught her to be careful about who she lets close. This kind of sharing is not casual storytelling. It is a subtle test of emotional safety. When someone reveals personal history, they are watching how you respond. They notice whether you listen with patience or interrupt with judgment. They observe whether you respect the sensitivity of what they reveal or treat it as ordinary conversation. A woman who begins to open these deeper layers is not simply filling silence with stories. She is quietly offering you access to the parts of her life that she normally protects. This openness is a form of trust in motion. It shows she believes you might be capable of understanding her without misusing what she shares. In many cases, the details she reveals may not even seem dramatic, yet their meaning lies in the fact that she chose to tell you at all. People protect their personal experiences because those memories carry emotion, vulnerability, and identity. Allowing someone else to hear them means allowing that person to see the human being behind the composed exterior. When a woman reaches that point in conversation, it usually means she is beginning to feel safe in your presence. Safety is the foundation of emotional closeness, and without it, deeper connection rarely grows. So when you notice her speaking more openly about the moments that shaped her life, the struggles she has overcome, or the dreams she quietly holds, understand that this is more than conversation. It is a quiet signal that she is letting you step closer into her inner world. The real meaning is not found only in the words she shares, but in the courage it takes to share them with you. Another hidden sign that a woman may be developing a deeper emotional connection with you can often be seen in the way she pays attention to the smallest details about you. Most people hear conversations without truly remembering them. Words pass by, moments fade, and many interactions remain casual. But when someone begins to care on a deeper level, their attention becomes sharper and more intentional. A woman who is emotionally drawn toward you will often remember things that others overlook. She may recall a story you mentioned days or even weeks earlier. She might remember the type of music you enjoy, the goals you spoke about, or the small frustrations you shared during an ordinary conversation. These details may seem minor, but remembering them requires genuine presence. It shows that when you speak, she is not simply waiting for her turn to respond. She is actually listening, absorbing, and storing those pieces of information because they matter to her. People naturally remember what they value, and attention is often the first quiet language of appreciation. You might notice that she asks thoughtful follow-up questions about something you mentioned before, or she brings up a topic you once spoke about just to see how things turned out. This kind of attentiveness reflects emotional curiosity. It means she is interested not only in spending time with you, but also in understanding who you are beneath the surface. Over time, these small acts of remembering create a feeling that you are truly seen. In a world where many interactions remain distracted and hurried, being genuinely listened to becomes surprisingly meaningful. For a woman, showing this level of attention is rarely accidental. It happens because she is mentally invested in the connection. Her mind naturally returns to the conversations you have shared, and she notices the patterns that define your personality. This quiet awareness becomes a sign that the relationship is moving beyond casual interaction. She is not just enjoying your company in the moment, she is studying the rhythm of who you are. When someone remembers the little things about you, it often means they are emotionally present in ways that go deeper than simple friendliness. These small details become the threads that slowly weave a stronger connection between two people, creating a sense of closeness that grows naturally over time. Another quiet signal of deepening emotional openness can be observed in how a woman chooses to spend her time. Time is one of the most valuable resources anyone has, and people naturally protect it because it is limited and constantly demanded by responsibilities, routines, and personal commitments. When someone begins to consistently make space for you within that busy rhythm of life, it often reflects more than simple availability. It shows intention. A woman who feels drawn towards you will often find ways to include you in her schedule, even when her days are already full. This may appear in simple gestures that might seem ordinary on the surface. She may suggest meeting even during a busy week, continue conversations when they could easily fade away, or check in during moments when she could have remained silent. These actions reveal effort. Effort is important because it shows that the connection is not happening only by chance or convenience. Instead, she is choosing to maintain it. When someone willingly invests time in another person, it signals that the interaction brings value to their day. You might notice that she begins inviting you into parts of her normal routine rather than keeping the connection separate from her daily life. Perhaps she shares moments from her day, talks about activities she enjoys, or includes you in plans that are meaningful to her. This gradual integration suggests comfort and growing importance. It means the connection is no longer limited to occasional conversations, but is slowly becoming part of the rhythm of her life. What makes this signal powerful is that it rarely arrives with dramatic announcements. Instead, it reveals itself through consistency. She continues to make time even when it would be easier not to. She keeps the connection alive through small but repeated gestures of attention. Over time, this pattern becomes difficult to ignore. It shows that your presence is not just tolerated, but welcomed. When someone repeatedly chooses to spend their time with you, they are quietly saying that your company adds something valuable to their life. In human relationships, shared time is the soil where trust and closeness grow. Without it, connections remain shallow and temporary. But when a woman willingly gives her time and protects that space for interaction, it often signals that the bond is becoming meaningful. The true message behind these moments is not simply that she is available, but that she wants you to remain part of her world. Another subtle yet meaningful sign that a woman is becoming emotionally open with you can often be seen in the level of comfort she begins to display around you. In the early stages of any interaction, people tend to present a carefully managed version of themselves. They choose their words cautiously, they control their reactions, and they remain slightly guarded because they are still deciding whether the environment is safe. This is natural. Human beings protect their true selves until they feel confident that they will not be judged or misunderstood. But when a woman begins to feel genuinely comfortable in your presence, that careful performance slowly fades. Her behavior becomes more natural, relaxed, and authentic. You may notice that she laughs more freely without worrying about how she appears. She may express her thoughts openly, even when they are spontaneous or imperfect. Silence between the two of you may no longer feel awkward because the need to constantly impress each other has disappeared. These quiet moments of ease are powerful because they show that she no longer feels the need to guard every expression. Comfort is a strong indicator of emotional safety. It suggests that she trusts the environment created by your presence. Instead of feeling the pressure to maintain a flawless image, she begins to allow her real personality to show. This could include playful humor, honest opinions, or even moments when she admits uncertainty or confusion. All of these behaviors reflect authenticity. Authenticity only appears when someone believes that they will be accepted as they are. When a woman relaxes into that level of openness, it means the connection has moved beyond surface level interaction. She is no longer interacting with you as someone she barely knows. Instead, she is beginning to treat the relationship as a space where she can simply exist without constant self-protection. This transformation may seem subtle, but it carries deep meaning. Emotional closeness grows most naturally in environments where people feel safe enough to be themselves. When she becomes comfortable enough to drop the invisible barriers that most people keep in place, it signals that your presence has become a place of calm rather than caution. Over time, this comfort creates a foundation where deeper connection can grow without pressure or performance, allowing the relationship to develop in a way that feels genuine and steady for both people involved. Another meaningful signal that a woman may be forming a deeper connection with you can often be noticed when she begins to value your perspective on matters that are important to her. In everyday conversations, people often exchange opinions casually, but when someone deliberately seeks your viewpoint on personal decisions or meaningful topics, the situation becomes different. It suggests that your thoughts carry weight in her mind. She may ask what you think about a challenge she is facing, a choice she is considering, or a situation that requires careful judgment. These questions are not always dramatic, yet they reveal a quiet level of respect. By inviting your perspective into her thinking process, she is allowing you to influence how she views certain aspects of her life. This kind of inclusion is rarely offered to people who are only casual acquaintances. Instead, it is usually reserved for individuals whose insight is trusted and valued. When a woman begins to do this consistently, it shows that she is gradually placing you within the circle of people whose opinions matter to her. This does not mean she will always follow your advice or agree with everything you say. True respect does not require agreement. Rather, it means she considers your viewpoint worthy of attention. The very act of asking what you think reflects that she sees you as someone who understands her world in a meaningful way. Over time, you may notice that these conversations move beyond simple topics and begin touching on deeper parts of her life. She might discuss ambitions, concerns, or decisions that shape her future. When someone opens that door, it indicates that the connection has grown beyond surface-level interaction. Your thoughts are no longer just part of casual conversation. They become part of her decision-making process. This level of involvement reflects emotional trust and intellectual respect at the same time. It shows that she values the way you think and believes your insight can help her see situations more clearly. In relationships, this kind of respect is essential because it transforms communication into collaboration. Instead of simply sharing time together, both people begin exchanging ideas that influence each other's perspectives. When a woman actively seeks your opinion and listens carefully to what you say, she is quietly acknowledging that your voice matters in her world, and that acknowledgement often reflects a growing sense of emotional closeness and mutual regard. Another quiet sign that a woman may be developing a deeper emotional connection with you can often be seen in the consistency of her communication. In many interactions, people show interest briefly and then slowly fade away when their attention shifts elsewhere. Conversations begin with enthusiasm but gradually become irregular, and the connection loses its rhythm. However, when a woman genuinely values the relationship that is forming, her presence tends to remain steady. She does not disappear without reason, and she does not allow long periods of silence to replace the interaction. Instead, she maintains a natural flow of communication that keeps the connection alive. This consistency may appear in simple ways that are easy to overlook. She might send a message just to ask how your day is going, continue a conversation that started earlier, or share something that reminded her of you. These gestures may seem small, but they carry meaning because they show intention. When someone regularly reaches out or responds with care, it reflects emotional investment. It means the connection is not something she remembers only when she feels bored or has extra time. Rather, it becomes part of her everyday awareness. Over time, this reliability creates a sense of stability between two people. You begin to recognize that her attention is genuine because it does not appear only occasionally. Instead, it shows up in a consistent pattern that reflects real interest. Consistency also builds trust. When communication is steady, both individuals begin to feel comfortable expressing themselves because they know the connection will not vanish unexpectedly. For a woman, maintaining this type of communication often indicates that she values the presence you bring into her life. She is willing to keep the connection active instead of allowing it to fade. This does not mean she will always communicate constantly or ignore the responsibilities of her life. Everyone has moments of busyness or quiet reflection, but the difference lies in the overall pattern. When someone repeatedly returns to the conversation and continues the interaction with genuine attention, it shows that the relationship holds importance. In human connections, consistency is often more powerful than dramatic expressions of interest. Grand gestures may create excitement for a moment, but steady communication quietly proves that the bond is real. When a woman consistently maintains that connection with you, it often reveals that your presence has become a meaningful and valued part of her emotional world. Another meaningful sign that a woman is becoming emotionally open with you can appear in the way she communicates honesty, even when that honesty involves disagreement or setting boundaries. In the early stages of many interactions, people often try to avoid tension. They agree with opinions they may not fully support, remain quiet about small concerns, or present a version of themselves that feels easy for the other person to accept. This usually happens because they are unsure about how the other person will react. But when a woman begins to trust the connection, her communication often becomes more genuine. She may express a different point of view, gently challenge something you said, or explain what makes her uncomfortable in certain situations. At first glance, some people misunderstand this shift and assume it signals conflict. In reality, it often indicates the opposite. Honest disagreement can be a powerful sign of trust because it shows she believes the relationship is strong enough to handle authenticity. Instead of pretending to agree with everything, she chooses to be sincere. This level of openness means she no longer feels the need to constantly protect the connection by hiding her real thoughts. She believes that you will listen with respect rather than react with anger or dismissal. When someone begins to communicate this way, it reflects emotional maturity as well as confidence in the relationship. She trusts that expressing her real opinions will not push you away. At the same time, this honesty allows the connection to grow in a healthier direction because both people can understand each other more clearly. Genuine relationships are not built on constant agreement. They are built on mutual respect and the ability to speak openly without fear of rejection. When a woman begins to express boundaries or different perspectives while still maintaining the connection, it reveals that she values honesty more than temporary harmony. She is choosing authenticity over performance. This shift transforms the dynamic between two people because it replaces polite distance with real communication. Over time, these honest exchanges create a deeper understanding of each other's personalities, values, and expectations. When she trusts you enough to be truthful about what she feels or believes, it often signals that the connection has reached a level where sincerity is not only safe, but necessary. In many ways, this kind of honesty becomes one of the clearest signs that the relationship is moving beyond surface level interaction and entering a space where both people can be fully real with each other.